Let's go. Okay, we gotta talk about a pinnacle. What was like a benchmark as far as like gay camp cinema goes? This is one of those first ones where like you had to watch this, especially when I was coming up. All the old guard gays would tell you about this movie, and you knew you had to watch it, get the references, so that you could keep up with the conversations. It's not so much that way anymore. I think this movie's kind of lost a little bit of its luster, and it might not sit as well with people in modern day audiences as it did back in the day. A lot of sensibilities have changed. I can understand that. And it's a very difficult film for a lot of modern people to watch and actually find funny. Because when you really look at the material and the source material, it's not as entertaining as it was back when it came out. It was a much different place and a much different world. The world was younger than today. I'm of course talking about the masterpiece, the Citizen Kane of fucking camp, that is Mommie Dearest.
Mommie Dearest.
Starring Faye Dunaway as Joan Crawford, the legendary actress in the silver screen, who went all the way from silent films to the fucking very bare bottom of the barrel of trash horror cinema in the 1970s. Joan Crawford is a cinema legend, okay? Like, you cannot argue that. Feel whatever way you want to feel about her in her personal life and who she was as a person, but the art was fucking arting, okay? She created moments. She was a benchmark as far as what it was to be a star, captivate the audiences, and have people invest in who you were as a person and personality. Like, she was one of the front runners that invented that kind of star persona shit. And Mommie Dearest is based on the book of the same title by Joan's adopted daughter, Christina Crawford. And it chronicles Christina's childhood growing up with the top box office earner with a huge star like Joan Crawford as her mother. Now, this was the first book of its type, really, where it was like the expose, the child or person that was related to a very famous person that's now dead, comes out and just airs out all their dirty laundry. Like, this is a first tell-all book like that. There were a couple before, but this one really put this genre on the map. And it kind of started with this and slowly trickled downward to where people slowly started to not really give a shit. And it wasn't as interesting as it seemed before. Like, this one started and ended very, very quickly. The trend was very, like, far and few between. But it was a huge success because Christina Crawford had some motivation to write this. She was cut out of Joan's will. And rightfully so, Joan had gotten word that her and Christopher were conspiring to write a book. And she decided, you know what? Fuck that shit. You're out of my will. I'll give all my stuff to cancer charities. Fuck y'all. And I can understand why she would have that take. It's like, what the fuck, bro? At least until I'm dead. Wait till I'm dead before you do this. Like, before you start conspiring. Like, that wouldn't get back to her. It's so crazy. But I'm digressing now. But let's talk about Mommie Dearest. Now, the movie Mommie Dearest was an event. They were planning this for a long time, and it was a fucking mess of a movie to get made. They circulated script after script after script of this. So many drafts were written. Christina Crawford tried her hand at it. So many people did. It eventually landed in the hands of Frank Perry, who decided, you know what, this script, it needs my own personal touch. So he took a vacation to Palm Springs and wrote it in like a week, which is fucking insane to think about. Like, a huge movie like this that's got people attached to it thinking they're going to win Oscars, and it's written in a fucking week, and basically shot on a closed film set with a temperamental star who they initially did not want. Like, Faye Dunaway was not the original first choice for this movie. Let's talk about it. So, a lot of actresses fled this because no one really wants to star in a movie where Hollywood has to go and defend their own. Like, Joan Crawford, the body was still warm, okay? Like, the body wasn't even cold yet. Like, it was very, very soon after her death, they wanted to make this movie because of the book's success. A lot of people really still liked Joan Crawford and had a very good idea and didn't necessarily believe Christina's story. Like, so there was a lot of people that were divided on this. There were some that came out in defense of Christina saying, like, this is absolute fact. And others are saying this is a work of fiction from a deranged mind. Like, she's a fucking liar. Like, there's many different sides of the camp. And then there are people in the middle that say, you know what? I'm inclined to believe both. I think both things can be true. There's probably elements of each that have some truth to it, which is kind of the camp I fall into. They knew it was going to be like an event film, and they were planning it to be an event film. Like, they thought they're going to win Oscars with this. The original choice of actress they approached for this was Anne Bancroft, the miracle worker. The woman Joan Crawford accepted an Oscar for to piss off Bette Davis. Like, yes. Anne Bancroft, when you think about it, holy fuck. She would have been so good as Joan Crawford. definitely a much different film than what we got, because I have a feeling she probably wouldn't have had a problem stating what the fuck was what and what she wanted, especially when the film was being written, because she was very like quick to give notes on like how she was being portrayed. And she knew Joan Crawford. She didn't want to do her dirty. Like she wanted to like show a more human side of her, where it's not just Joan the monster, which is apparently what Christina's script was. It's like there was no balance. There was no showing humanity. And like that, yeah, she had a tendency to go off the rails, but she was a damaged person. Like she was very wounded. And she created this persona because she had a fucking hard life. To quote Be Kind Rewind's essay, to know why the hammer is swung doesn't remove its impact. But it's interesting to know for context so we can all form our own opinions and be educated on the subject rather than just being told that thing bad. But Anne Bancroft soon departed from the project very quickly. She decided to do another project instead because this was a fucking mess. They couldn't decide on the script. They couldn't decide what tone they were going for. They kept saying it was serious, but campy, weird fucking scenes would end up in it over and over and over again. Which eventually led us to actress Faye Dunaway, who was not the first choice for this. Initially, she convinced Frank Yolans, the producer, that she wanted to do this by showing up to his house dressed as Joan Crawford. Like, remember when Sean Young showed up dressed as Catwoman on a talk show? It kind of reminds me of that. It's like that deranged actressy kind of dedication to show, like, I'm going to show you, motherfucker, what you're missing out on. Okay, I am Joan Crawford. Like, it's crazy to think about. Now, like, I feel like a lot of us have seen this movie. I don't want to give too much away because essentially it is Joan Crawford's life story, which is a huge portion of why Christina Crawford had a problem with it. It is very emphasis on Joan and the Joan show. And she wanted more focus paid to her because it was her book and her story. And I kind of like low-key love how like the story was bought from her. And they're just like, yeah, all that shit about you, no one gives a fuck about that. But Joan, though, it's very much they treated it like that. Like, that is such a fun irony to think about. Like, this, like, biting, I'm going to get back at you, bitch, kind of moment. And it's like, actually, no, we want to know about your mom. Let's talk about your mom, though. Not to, like, negate, like, Christina Crawford's trauma and what she's writing about. I'm inclined to think, like, I'm kind of divided on it. I don't know if I necessarily believe a lot of the stuff she put into it because a lot of it seems very sensationalized. And there have been a lot of people that have come out and like said like she exaggerated a lot to sell books. Like the twins completely denied it and said like she's a fucking liar. So it's like you don't really know who to believe. You're left in the middle ground just like, so what is the truth? And I feel like she's also reached a point in her life where she can look at it now as a piece of entertainment and laugh about it. Because enough time has passed. Like she's in her fucking 60s at this point, or maybe older now. It's like so many things have gone by. Like she can show up at a drag show now and get a good laugh out of it. It surely shows like emotional growth as a human being, which I do applaud. But this movie is a fucking mess and a glorious mess and deranged from this word go. Like Faye Dunaway's look in this film is wild. Like she is immediately in like Johnny Guitar, Joan Crawford drag from the very first frame. And you watch this, it's just like, Joan Crawford didn't look like that in the 30s. Like we start like the peak of her fame. And like she's got the full like boomerang eyebrows, like the pet rock lips. Like she looks fucking crazy. And she did not look like that. Like Joan Crawford was pretty and she had like very good style. And she was known for being very particular about how she looked. Like you're talking about a woman that did her own makeup. She didn't trust nobody to touch her fucking face. Like when she eventually got to that point, it was very stylized and for a particular way. Was how she did it. So like you're watching this and just thinking like, damn, like she really is just going all in. And there's iconic moments like the opening of the movie where you see her like you don't even see her face until the very end of the scene. It's a long reveal shot where you see her like getting dressed and putting the ices on her face, giving herself like the cold ice facelift, reading her script, signing autographs. Like you're getting the whole persona of Joan Crawford before anything else. And when she finally turns around, you see that fucking those eyebrows. When you see her in her Ice Follies look, you're just like, okay, so we're not taking this seriously. I get it. Okay, I know what we signed up for.
We're ready for you, Miss Crawford.
And there's just certain scenes that will stick out to you. Of course, like the No Wire Hanger stuff, the Bring Me the Axe, like all that great stuff that was in the Rusical is all here. Like the fucking Rusical basically might have been a plagiarized Mommie Dearest the musical. It's basically Mommie Dearest the musical. They didn't want to say it. They covered it by saying it's Joan Crawford. But I digress. Like, Faye Dunaway's choices in this, she's so big. Like, she's so gigantic, and like, she doesn't pull it back. And had she been in the arms of like a good director, I could see them probably telling her like, yo,
Faye, wheel it in, okay? Like, you're doing too much.
But again, like, she just went fucking gung-ho because she thought she was gonna win an Oscar for this. Like, she thought she was doing really high stakes dramatic work. And she's one of those people you can tell, like, Faye Dunaway's an actress that throws her whole self into it. Like, it's hard to get her back down. And again, if she's in the hands of a stronger director, maybe she could have been brought back down to like a more human level. But also, this script, girl, does not add to anything. Like, it does not give her anything to work with to where she really ever could get to that. It was always just like scene after scene of her, you know, being at like a 5 and then go right to fucking 11, like all the time. Like, every single scene is like this, where it's just like, we started at 6, we're kind of crazy as hell. You get no balance. And it's very seldom you see any kind of real humanness in Joan Crawford, which is fucking insane to think about because she was a very human person. And there's lots of very interesting introspective stuff that like came out about her later on, where she essentially didn't know who she was anymore. Like, she had been living this persona, like she was doing kayfabe the old Hollywood way, just living the gimmick. And after a certain point, she kind of lost sight of who the fuck Lucille was. And I think that's a really sad thing to explore that never really gets delved into. Like, if there's anyone that deserves another film about them, it's Joan Crawford. This can't be the only one. Like, we gotta get something else in the fucking canon. Like, let's get something firing up, because especially with Letty Linton being released, like, Joan Crawford's hot again. Like, you can tell, like, someone's legacy truly fucking endures when Letty Linton gets released from cinema jail after like 90 years and people line up around the block to go see it. Like, that's how you know it's a fucking star with power still, that people still are curious about and want to know more about. But when I say she was famous, I mean it. She was really famous. Like, she had fan clubs all over the world. She started trends in fashion. Like, women wanted to be her. They looked at her as like, this is the woman I see myself in. And that's because she paid close attention to what women wanted and what women desired. She wanted to tell their stories. Like, she knew she was a vessel, she was a conduit to tell the stories of women that couldn't be up there and live those glamorous lives. It was escape, it was a power fantasy. And that's why people gravitated so much to her and grabbed onto her as much as they did. Like, Joan Crawford was a power fantasy. Like, I wish I could be up there being as strong as she is. And it sucks that Mommie Dearest is kind of like what has like folded into her image, because she is so much more than that. And yeah, she probably was a shitty person behind the scenes, as we're all capable of. Like, was she a shitty parent? Probably. But we'll never really know. And there's very little proof besides what Christina says that really even like encourages that story to like be pushed forward anymore. At this point, it's just entertainment. Much in the same way Marilyn Monroe is a brand, Joan Crawford and Mommie Dearest is just seen as entertainment at this point. Like, very few people treat it as like biographical fact or something that was like treated with absolute care to tell a true story. Like, it was sensationalism from the word go. And it was in the wrong hands of the wrong people that truly, some meant very well, but essentially delivered a real fucking mess of a movie that we have enjoyed for years to come. I actually watched this on my season of All Stars. Like, it was one of the films they gave us as homework. They gave us Mommie Dearest, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane to watch as homework. We didn't know what the challenge was until we walked in and saw Joan Crawford on the walls and realized we're doing Joan the Rusical, which was, again, just kind of Mommie Dearest the musical. It's a very poorly disguised Mommie Dearest the musical, but that's neither here nor there. Like, I feel like, you know, copyright infringement was being skirted very, very carefully on that one. But I love that challenge. It sucks how it ended, but I love doing it. And it's probably the funnest I had doing anything on Drag Race. That was a fun fucking challenge. But this movie is a fucking mess, but a glorious mess. And that's not me to discourage you from watching it. Definitely watch it. Pick a day you don't have anything going on. Like, maybe a mid-morning where you got nothing happening. Make yourself some snacks. You could have it on while you're doing stuff or cleaning your house. It'll hold your gaze. It's camp. It's sensationalized. It's nonsense at this point. Get into Mommie Dearest. All right? Let me know what you guys think. You have your homework now. Let me know your notes, what your thoughts are. Write your thesis statements down below. I'm intrigued to see what the dialogue on this one's going to be, because it's one of those films where, again, you either love it or you don't understand what the hype's about. And I want to know what camp you fall into. All right? Remember, no wire hangers, and I'll catch you all in the next one. All right? Bye!
Don't you dare judge me!
Well, it's over now.
click my next YouTube video. Like, comment, and subscribe.